All right, how I closed $1.4 million deal without knowing anything about the industry, without owning anything, without really having connections in this niche. Um, the first thing I did, I think the one thing is I didn't need this deal. So I think that one of the biggest things, and you'll see this through the whole thing, is like this is like a nice add-on. This is like a thing that, it's going to create a pretty nice payday. The one caveat I will say that it's not me, right? It's God, right? 100% him, not me. I'm giving him 100% credit because I feel like every time I've like fully pride, pride becomes before the fall. So I'm not going to take credit for this. This wasn't me. Two, this deal, the PSA has been signed, purchase sales agreement. We haven't passed due diligence yet, but I'm very confident, and I've talked to the buyer, and just from the numbers of the deal, are very confident that it'll pass and it'll still close. It'll just, some of the back end numbers will be different if say it appraises differently. So pretty confident it'll still close. So with all that said, how did I make this deal happen? One, I didn't need it. Two, it was like active listening to solve problems. So when you're having conversations with people, having like your ears just listening to big problems that people have and going, could I solve this, would be number one. And then two is like, if I'm not 100% sure, could you figure out how to solve this? I didn't know how to solve this problem. I've never sold. This was, in this case, was a portfolio, a 9 rental of single family houses in Jacksonville portfolio. And I'd never sold anything. I've never even sold a house. I bought 2 houses back before the real estate crash and lost both of them. So it's like I have no experience selling real estate or connecting with investors or buyers or any of that stuff. I just knew I knew enough to try, I guess, to give it a shot. And so I did. So I was like, what if I sold this property? What kind of deal could be set up where I would be compensated for my time? Because I think that's one of the things that people do, especially when they're working on big. There's two lessons. You need to have like your regular stuff handled, right? Your money, like when you're working on really, really big deals, you either need some cash in the bank to float you for a while, or have some regular cash flow coming in from other things, whatever that looks like. And if you don't have that, it's going to be very challenging, and it's very hard to come from a place of from strength, from power, because you're always trying to just like, how do I get fast cash? And big deals usually are not fast cash, right? And this one definitely wasn't. I think we started in like maybe May or June or so. And this is taken, what is this, October? So we're like 4 or 5 months into this deal, and it's definitely taken something to make happen, right? So figuring out what that compensation would look like to make it worth your time, to like really put in some energy into making something like this happen. Then getting it in writing. So if it's, say it's negotiating some sort of big deal to be sold, getting it in writing, making sure that the paperwork looks good. Obviously working with people that you trust is super, super helpful. But getting it in writing anyways. Like, not just because of the legal things, but just so it's clear on both ends, right? So there's that. Then it's really just getting it like packaged. Like, how do you expand the value of an asset to peak interest? So the one thing I did is these rental properties were, well, they were collecting about $13,000 a month, which was very low. The rental is very low, and when I found out, so there was 9 of them, right? So it's a little bit, barely over $1,000 a property, right? Which is very low if you think of it like a single family house. When I started looking into the Section 8 rental situation in this area and in the area of these properties, it was much more. So they were averaging somewhere between 17,500 and 21,000. So I took each of them and I assessed the rental value at the Section 8 price. And so I said in the marketing of it, because it's like marketing, creating offers, like even these big, it's funny, you think of like offer creation as something that you do for internet marketing, right? For coaching, for that thing. But no, offer creation is so valuable on every level. And so when I did this, I created an offer for this deal, even though, like, you know, the offer is the offer, but it's really how you communicate it. So I communicated that through Section 8, you could get an extra like $3,000 out of each of these properties. What the thing I didn't know, and now that I know, is if you get into pad split, which is what the buyer is going to be doing for these properties, it could be even more. It could be close to $20,000 for the rent for these properties. So Section 8 being 16,000, 20,000 being the pad split prices, right? Like around that, right? I'm not being like exact because so packaging that out there and then just getting in front of as many investors as I possibly could. And now this is the thing is I think I pissed off some investors because they didn't like how I was pricing it. You know, I put the retail prices. I mean, the retail pricing that I had was about 1.6 million, right? Where I put out the offer at 1.45. That's what I was asking for it, which is funny, and you'll see why it's funny. But the retail price, if I individually sold each of these properties, getting about 1.6 for them, you're saving about, 10% or so, and getting them at 1.45. And I was getting lowballed hard. I was not getting what I wanted. I was getting cash offers at like 800,000, 900,000. I don't even think they would. There was a lot of them that they didn't even want to make an offer because they thought they would insult me. I'm like, I don't get insulted because I'm not attached to your offer. You're not my only offer, so it doesn't matter. I have a lot of people coming in at like looking at these, so it becomes like, I think that's another thing is like there's a lot of people out there that get insulted by offers, like bad, like low offers. I'm like, no, don't get insulted because like your value, your potential value, or like your assessment of value of what I'm selling, like doesn't affect me at all, because I know I'm gonna get close to what I want. And the thing is I would have been happy probably getting like 1.2 or so, something like that. But if you start at that place, there's no wiggle room. There's nothing that you can assess. Charlie is following me around. Where did you go? Just use that. So, so you don't want to set it at what you want. You want to set it for where you believe it's valued. And so then it was just getting in front of as many people as possible. This is like getting your offer in front of as many people as possible, and just having as many conversations about this as possible. That's like number one or number whatever lesson, is just get in front of as many people as you possibly can. And then don't be attached. Don't be attached to any offer. Don't get insulted. Don't take things personally. This isn't a personal thing. And maybe people will. I had people that were pissed that I was, I think because I used Zillow pricing in my estimate, or that I was using Section 8 pricing as the cash flow price. And like, there's all kinds of people that were just, not happy about what I was doing. But don't care. It doesn't matter. You're not paying, so I don't have to take your opinion as anything. And so kept moving forward, and then finally had a offer, or I had a couple offers that were decent, and we were actually going to take another offer that was like 125 or something like that, and then they can't remember if they flaked out or they couldn't get the interest rate that they wanted, so that they backed out. And then the guy that was bringing me the offer found another guy, and then that guy was being too slow, and they literally kicked him out of the deal. And then they brought in another guy, and this guy actually offered more. He actually offered 1.47, and that's the one that has actually signed and is moving forward right now. So we're actually getting more than I was originally asking for. And it's just amazing, just because I was, just kept on putting it out there, was patient, was persistent, and was just like listening and didn't take anything personal. Those are my 3 P's right there of negotiation. And then just being like, it's really the deal. It's not taking things personally, being persistent, and just keep on putting it out there. And yeah, I've learned a lot from this deal. It's going to be a really nice payday, and I'm pumped. And yeah, I'm just thinking if there's anything else that I could add to this that would be valuable. If you have any questions, and this works in really like any type of deals. It's not, and there's a ton of more negotiating. I'm going to be teaching, with about my mentor clients, in some of the programs that are coming up. We have one program right now that I just pitched the other day. It was $100K. It's called the Upper Room, and it's really just having a full done for you. And then we have our CMO product, which is $250K. And obviously there's things that are a little bit lower than that, but full CMO services is a fractional CMO services being $250K. Anyway, so big deals are really just about choosing that's the arena you want to play in, and not being afraid to say it, because what's the worst that's going to happen? You close a huge deal. So hopefully this was helpful. I appreciate you. If you need help putting together your 100K, 200K, $1 million deal, reach out. We can have a conversation. Appreciate you.